Hubert Lee, webinar started.
Originally, this is a historic day, our second mastermind of the week.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't think we've ever done this before. So fun.
It was a quirk of the scheduling.
And somehow a bunch of people, I don't know what happened, just got accidentally kicked out. So if you were one of those people who just got kicked out and is coming back in, we appreciate that. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. Okay, people are piling in now. Awesome. All
Did, did
right.
you did you eject everybody by accident?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I did, but all of a sudden the numbers went to almost nothing, and then boom, started jumping back in again.
All right.
Hey,
So,
Kurt,
hello everybody. Yes, so
greetings.
as we were saying, this is our second mastermind of the week, a quirk of the scheduling, so it's great to see you all again twice this week. Um, Saying hello
We've
to
been welcoming
everybody.
some new guests. My new buddy Matt is here with us. Welcome, Coach.
Great.
Good to see you. And Kurt, all the way in Johannesburg, where it's cold and wet.
Yes.
Hey,
So
man, South
we have
Africa's
two
in the
people.
house.
We have two people consistently vying Ridgely for the most far away attendees. So it's Kurt from Johannesburg, and we have Timothy also. I think Tim is joining us as usual from Singapore, I think it was. But it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna have some fun as usual. So I
Exactly. So
want
wait,
to
wait, wait.
know.
One thing. I just want to have a follow-up, and this is I'm a very forgetful person. Normally, I don't remember whatever we spoke about the last mastermind session originally. But since it was only this week, a couple of days ago, I thought, hey, we had such a good time with Linda. I'm wondering if Linda would be able to give us an update and a follow-up on how things went. Remember, originally you helped her with your prompt for writing the
Yep,
chapter of the book. All right. And
that's right.
so if Linda, if you're available to join us to kind of give the community an update, we would love that. So let us know.
That's right, because that was an overnight thing that she needed the next day, if I recall, right?
Right, that's exactly it. Yes. Oh, and Tim did confirm that he is coming from Singapore and it's 4 a.m. So I actually don't know what's farther away from us, Singapore or Johannesburg?
That's a tough question, man, because which way around the world do you go? Do you go this
Exactly.
way or do you go that way? I'll tell you what, they're
Okay.
both really far, okay? Really
Okay.
far.
So
So,
Linda said yes. So if we can bring Linda on for an update. And again, let me just remind everybody what happened. And the folks that couldn't catch it last time, Linda joined the hot seat the day before, the evening before her book chapter was due, and Ridgely helped her out. And we're gonna see how it went.
yeah, we basically wrote the chapter using AI. All right, cool. Linda's joining us momentarily, and
Okay, awesome.
cool. I
So
think,
originally we have Federico chiming in, and he's our award-winning videographer, and he says, "Ridge, wipe your lens with a cloth." But Ridgely, people pay for that glamour effect filter, Ridgely.
yeah, I guess, man,
I
whatever.
like that. I like that fuzzy Ridgely look. Makes you look younger.
There, fine.
Hey, Linda, thank you for joining us from your studio. You can
You
unmute
are on
yourself,
mute.
please. Yes.
Hello.
Okay. So, Linda, we're all waiting. First off, was Ridgely's helpful or not so helpful? And how did it go? And did you make it deadline?
It was tremendously helpful. Thank you so much with all my heart. I'm a great example, right? Like, but yeah, it's what was produced, and the one that I decided to go with was the edgy one. Make a mess, get the message, because it's literally something that my art has said, get the message, get the message. So, and it felt good because I didn't have to be the expert. So I really liked the tone of it. I had to do some massaging because there were incomplete sentences. So stylistically, some finessing to make it work with the requirements for submission. But I was very pleased to have submitted it with 4 hours to spare.
There you go. Now, I do have a question or a comment for you, Linda. So, I happen to know, and I think people, longtime mastermind members will kind of remark to themselves, wasn't Linda the one that was a little skeptical about the power of AI, especially to be your voice, on a book chapter. So a year ago, I don't think you would have been willing to, go the route that you went last week. So can you kind of reflect on that for us?
Yeah, I think there's some kind of magic and finesse that happens um, with your prompts and what the outputs are that makes it really, you know, a match for the assignment. But I know the tool has changed quite a bit too, right? The technology that so you've learned a lot, I've learned a lot. But I also had an outline that was, had some sound bites and things that could be drawn upon. So I saw those get nestled in there. But yeah, I definitely haven't myself personally had great success coming up with something that had the tone. And I think that maybe that outline really did help give it some, focus and infuse the tone in there. And of course, your brilliance and expertise with telling it specifically its role and what the assignment was and the tone and and I think also some of the quick decision making that you made me do too, to because I can get really stuck on the words of like, oh, what does that mean? And get really kind of paralyzed by it, which is I'm not really proud of, but it's true because I'm like, oh. So,
Now, I've watched
Mhm.
Visually Prompt with clients for a while now, and the real value and the real takeaway is after you let AI do the heavy lifting and you get to something okay, you'll always notice Ridgely then taking it to the next level. And he did that with you when he said, now give me an edgier version. That whole edgier version concept is what the models are capable of now. David was mentioning that yes, AI has come a long way in the past year. So the improvements that they've been making in, I know you use ChatGPT in the 4.0 model has been astounding. And so, the way Ridgely can play with it and optimize it is only possible, within this last year.
Yeah. So awesome. Well, congratulations. You got it done. Proud of you. Yay. Give Linda a little love in the chat, everybody. A little love. She got this done.
Congrats.
First chapter for a book. Hey, I remember it's very cool because writing a book is no joke, and having your first book come out is a big deal. And I will never forget writing my first book and talking to a guy in Malibu, California, who'd written 30 books. And I was like, oh man, how do you ever get to 30 books? And the guy said, you just keep writing. And now I've written 20. So yeah, the first one is the toughest one. You just got to get the first one done. You get the first one done and you're good. So anyway, congratulations, my dear. I appreciate it.
so much, and thank you for your expertise and for allowing me to be an example of what not
Of
to do,
course.
what to do. Come to the mastermind and bring your stuff and get the support and the expertise and guidance. And so, thank you again.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Linda. And before
Awesome.
you go, Linda, how do you track a book? How do
Oh,
you track a book?
how do you attract a book?
A book, yes. How do you track a book?
I
You
don't know.
follow their footnotes.
Uh, that's a good
Forget
one.
about it.
Even
Sorry,
better.
I'm
Thank you, Linda.
apologizing for a couple of guests that are on this call. We apologize for Hubert. It just happens all the time. All right, Linda,
Yes,
love you. See you
everybody
later.
on the hot seat, everybody on the hot seat wins a dad joke.
Yeah, a bad joke is what it is. Okay, so uh, I got a question for you. Who here on this call, there's a lot of people in lots of parts of the world, suffers at all from the cobbler's shoes syndrome? Right? Where you have a business, you do your thing, but your actual presence about what you do is kind of ridiculous. Anybody besides, yeah. Okay, so get this. So Monday, we signed a very, very important contract with a large dental influencer. And Tuesday, we get the message, hey, where do we send our dentist to show them what you do? Uh, it's just like, so historically, right? Historically, my answer to that is, oh, we'd rather just show you the websites that we've built, the results that we're getting, the whatever, which is basically code for, OMG, we don't have squat to show anybody because we can't get around to building our own damn website because all we do is build stuff for everybody else, right? So,
Yeah,
but I
right.
called you.
Except, okay, so wait a second. Before you continue originally, let me just share my screen real quick here. And at least we have a domain. We have a domain that matches our product, Dental Market Dominator, right? Dentalmarketdominator.com. But look, sorry, we're doing some work on the site. So this is as far as we get typically.
And, and that's been as far as we've gotten for like a really long time. Okay. We have a program. It's called Dental Market Dominator. We have dentalmarketdominator.com. We have clients all over the country that use this program. But do you think we have our own damn website? No. So
But we do have a very cool under construction page.
yeah, right, exactly. The ridiculous what that is. So I called Hubert, and we're talking 3 days ago, and said, "Look, bro, this has got to stop. This is getting way too big. Things are, growing, and we need a website." And so the first question is the first question he asked me is, okay, well, which website are we going to use? like I'm like, what, man? We have all these domains, and David says he's got a bunch of them too. Yeah, we all do, right? We all have like 30 different domains or 40. Some
Right.
people have 200. And I said, well, dude, don't you think we ought to use the domain that's the name of our product? We have that, plus a big bunch of other ones. He said, yeah, that's a really good idea. Okay, so Dental Market Dominator. So here's the thing. It really is pathetic that we have not done this before. I will totally cop to that and admit it. However, because of the tools that we have now, it is a hell of a lot easier to do this. And therefore, it's even more pathetic. But also, just want to say, let's remove the excuses for everybody that raised their hand honestly. And thank you for being honest. Hey, I'm one of those people. I should get this thing done because AI has changed everything. And I just want to walk people through a quick tutorial of how you can use AI when you really understand the tool to knock stuff out at warp speed and stop with the excuses. And I'm putting us at the absolute top of that list. We've been talking about this for so long. I don't even know how long we've been talking about doing this, and we just never get around to it because everybody's too busy, blah, blah, blah. And also, frankly, because we haven't had to do it because there hadn't been nobody's challenged us on the idea of, no, let me just show you the websites that we build and the results that we get. And that's all, it's been enough. So let's go there. We're going to visit with our friends at ChatGPT, and I'm going to walk you through how you can do the same thing. So, as you know, if you've been a member of this mastermind for a while and you have Ridgely's prompt library, the first thing we use is a prompt called Prompt Creator. Please forget all prior prompts. I want you to become my prompt creator. Your goal is to help me build the best prompt for my needs. We're going to use ChatGPT, and the prompt creator is going to use an iterative process. It's going to give us, based on my input, you will generate 3 sections: revised prompt, suggestions on how to improve it, questions to ask that will help improve the prompt, and then we're going to rate every prompt 1 to 10 and what we could do to improve it until we say, yes, run the prompt, right? So now I'm using this for everything, right? For everything. If I've got something I got to do, why wouldn't I start by using AI as a tool? So here we go. So I said, and you'll notice that the initial prompt is fairly complex. So I didn't mess around on the initial prompt. I gave the tool a role. You're an expert copywriter and direct response wizard. You are charged with creating the copy for a new website, dentalmarketdominator.com, that will explain a business offering for elite dentists across the United States. That's what we do. The main features and goals of the product are, and now I'm listing all the things that we do for dentists to drive dental client practices to the top of search engines, to optimize their Google business profile, get them as rank as high as possible in the maps, help them with re-engagement campaigns for existing patients, up-level the quality of their websites with limbic messaging and patient-centric copy, build AI agents that answer questions for patients to prospects, build a copywriting assistant that can help you with any copy they need, such as flyers, social media posts, promotional pieces. The site will be very simple with just a few pages to act as an introduction to the Dental Market Dominator product. and service with the primary call to action being to set up a call with the company to see if a dental practice is a good fit. In other words, that's a very robust initial, this is what I need. I did not skimp on this. That piece right there is what took me the longest,
Yes.
probably about 6 minutes.
Right.
Okay.
And actually, the importance of that, folks, that Ridgely is stressing cannot be overemphasized, meaning AI is not a mind reading magic bullet. If you're not willing to put in 6 minutes of writing out what your assignment is, it can't help you. So think of it this way. If a marketing expert, copywriter, in the field came to sit next to you and help you, they're not there to do a mind meld with you without spoken words. You need to train the person, tell them what you need, tell them what you're willing to do. But for some reason, originally, sometimes people don't think they need to explain that to an AI.
Yeah, so this is a very comprehensive list of our main offerings. There are a couple other little things that we do, but pretty much if you do all that, that's a lot. So here we go. First, out of the gate gives me a 7.5, which is not bad for out of the gate, right? And it says you're an expert copywriter, tasked with doing this copy, must highlight how the service, and then gives us a few things. And then it says suggestions to improve the prompt, page counts, voice tone, audience segment, visual hints, specific calls to action. And then it asked me the questions. And what did I do? I just answered them very quickly. We need copy for home, contact us, the product, and testimonials. That's it. Tone should be tech forward and elite. Ideal dentist is a successful practice, solo or multi-dentist that wants to get to the next level of income. We have many dental practices that have great results that can be included on the testimonial pages. Boom. Bam, right up to a 9 out of 10, right?
Nice.
So now look how the prompt is improving. The website will include the following pages: homepage, product page, core features, testimonials, contact us, etc. Suggestions for even greater precision. Do you have stats or metrics? Is it exclusive or qualifying? Is there a value proposition? Clarifying questions. Is there a name for the call? Should it be in quote, so the testimonials be in quote format only? And the answer is no, unless they're real. Let me repeat that. Do not use fake testimonials. It is out of integrity and it will not serve you. Don't do that. If you don't have the testimonial, don't use it. Go get some testimonials. Visual layouts. So, you want to run the prompt? No. Let's title the call the Dental Dominator Session, though I'm open to alternative titles. That's code for I don't have anything better right now, so let's give it this title right here. So I'm just totally open kimono here, right? How this works, because you're going to see that the output is ridiculous given the fact that now I'm probably into minute 8 or 9, right? The testimonials will be real practices with story style descriptions because we're not going to put fake testimonials, and neither should you or anybody else. The CTA is qualifying people because not all practices will be a good fit. Okay, that takes me up to a 9.7 out of 10. And it's got the whole thing, what we just talked about, etc. What is it? It says, would you like to run this prompt? 9.7 is pretty good. Then I thought to myself, wait a second, we need a little FOMO in here, fear of missing out. We need some urgency, etc. Talk about the idea that if you're not there in the AI age, you're going to fall behind. And that gave it what it needed. 10 out of 10 is now the prompt. So I now have a prompt done, 10 out of 10. And I am not kidding. Where we are now on a timeline is I'm probably at about minute 11, 12, maybe 13, something in there. 10 out of 10, run the prompt, and here you go, homepage. The future of dental marketing is here. Are you ready to dominate? Subhead, intro paragraph, key benefits, urgency and FOMO, product page, headline, intro. What do we got on the product? Search engine, Google map domination, Google business profile optimization, re-engagement campaigns, high converting website copy, AI agents that work 24/7, AI copyright assistant, closing block, boom, call to action. Testimonial page. Of course, it's going to put in fake ones. We're not going to use any of those. We're going to use real testimonials because we have them. Contact us page. Let's see if you're fit to dominate, blah, 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 blah. Well, wait a second. Okay, great. That's all fine and good. But what's our special sauce? Limbic messaging. So once I've got all that, I go back to my prompt library and put in, give us some limbic messages that could work, 20 limbic messages. And then we go to we believe statements. we believe top dentists deserve top tier tools to dominate in the AI age, right? So we go back and we literally get the limbic messages. And now I'm saying, okay, great. Why would I figure out where those should go or which ones are the best when I can use another prompt that we've already created based on your vast experience? Rank these limbic messages in order of most effective at building trust and connection with prospects that would likely lead a prospect to want to use the business and buy the products and services. Boom. So I get top 5 highest trust and conversion potential. You deserve marketing that matches your excellence in clinical care. Because visibility matters more than ever in a crowded dental market. We believe invisibility online is a silent killer of even great dental practices, and so on. These are excellent. Now, are they 100% good enough? I'll show you that in just a second. All right. Strong middle tier messages. And then finally, still valuable, more aspirational or conceptual messages. Okay. So then I said, great. Now take the best and most relevant messages and weave them into the website copy. Put the limbic message at the beginning so that we induce a yes state in the visitors of the site. In other words, we're inducing the fact that people are nodding their head yes in our favor. Really important to do that because that when it comes time to buy the product, that's when they're going to say yes to your product or service, right? So really important to make sure that we do that. All right, so let me go back to my chat GPT here, show you guys what I'm doing next. And again, it's crazy how fast stuff can get done when you know how to use the tools. So it wove the messages all throughout the content. Very cool. All through the website. And then finally, I got to a place of saying, okay, can you give me this in a wireframe so that it's ready for a web designer? And now Dental Market Dominator, website wireframe for Hubert, all laid out, the entire thing, all of the copy. Now, some of the copy I wasn't super happy with. I wanted to tweak it just a little bit. So what did I do? I went over into Google and popped it in there and then tweaked some of the limbic messages. You deserve marketing that matches your clinical excellence. A little bit different than what it was back here because this is my area of expertise. And so you don't want to rest your, even once you've got great final copy, you still don't want to rest on that, right? See, you deserve marketing that matches your excellence in clinical care is a little complicated. So I just tweaked it to you deserve marketing that matches your clinical excellence. And I did the same thing a little further down on some of the other limbic messages. We believe invisibility online is the silent killer of great dental practices. Now, it was pretty good initially. We believe invisibility online is a silent killer of even great dental practices. I tweaked it to is the silent killer of great dental practices. So you're always going to be tweaking things and playing with stuff because reactivation matters and it's easier to get back lost patients than convert new ones. The version I got from ChatGPT was a little too, where is it? It was a little bit, because reactivation matters and lost patients are easier to win back than new ones. I thought that was awkward. So again, you tweak it. So you don't rest on your laurels. But the bottom line is, after years of moaning and complaining and making excuses about not having a fundamental website that describes what we do for a living, very successfully, by the way, right? It took me 25 minutes using ChatGPT and AI and the tools and exactly the way that we teach all of you using our prompt library to write the copy for the entire website. Now, is it going to take a little longer to get it all done? Sure. But think of how long that would have taken a year and a half ago to think all that stuff, to create all those limbic messages, all that stuff that needs to be done. And now you don't have to do that anymore, ever, ever. You don't do that. So now so I just want to like, just, you know, touchdown. So, because my side, the copy piece is done. So now it's 100% Hubert's fault. No, it's all
Exactly.
on you.
And so let me pick up the tail on my end here. So I'm going to share my screen. And so while I'm sharing my screen, telling my story here, visually, if you can look at the question I sent to you for the next segment, let me know. So anyway, so folks, so this has been the state of the website for a while, right? And so I'm thinking, well, okay, well, Ridgely's probably gonna eventually get around to, getting me some copy to work on this. But I had the excuse of not having the copy. Well, folks, as of yesterday, I no longer have the excuse, and now it's on me, right? And so here's my workflow, guys. This is not rocket science and this is not hard. Okay. So how am I going to build the website? Okay. I've already made the decision that all the websites that we do internally and for our clients, we use WordPress. Why? Because most people use WordPress. And we use a theme in WordPress called Divi. Why? Because most people use WordPress, right? When you're in this professionally, there's such a concept as called mitigating technical risk. Okay. If you choose the most popular or the best in class for each of your technology choices, you're not going to go wrong. You could go on Fiverr and hire somebody because you're using the most popular CMS, which is WordPress, and the most popular WordPress theme, which is Divi, right? And so I then go to uh, Divi theme. It's created by Elegant Themes. Okay, so I'm saying, oh, right, they have a marketplace. So let me go to the marketplace, and I go to the marketplace, and I see, oh, child themes, and a child theme is basically a blank website that is pre-built for you. Right? And I said, okay, let me look at that, and I said, let me just look at the things. I already know that I had a design vision. I need impactful and bold and large fonts and stuff like that. And so I clicked through to this one. Um, and again, why did I choose this child theme? Because look, it's the biggest Divi child theme, right? So the choices are not hard. Always go for best of class, right? So I go and look into this one. I say, okay, let me check out what they got. Okay, so this is their homepage, fine. And then I look over here and I see, oh, okay, they have web design. So I click on that one. And so here's a template. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like I already have like some logos that are yellow and black, and I like this. And there's plenty of white space, and there's some interactivity here. Okay, let me just refresh the page just to kind of show you how it loads. So, stuff slides in and that's all pre-built already. We're gonna capture leads, so that's prominent. I'm like, okay, this looks like it'll do the job. So I went and I bought this yesterday, and I have a blank theme. So now I'm going to install it and turn this guy here into this guy here populated with the content that Richly showed. Now, that is like the start of it, of course. You in doing this, you have to tell a story, meaning, we're gonna gather the testimonials and all of this stuff, but the art stuff, the background, the pictures, the this and the that, and making it limbic, that's kind of the artful part of it. But I fully expect to be able to get this done within a couple of days, but without all of the head starts that come from having already decided, hey, to go from here to anywhere, use the most popular thing, which is WordPress, use the most popular theme, which is Divi, go in here and look for a child theme that's already laid out for what you want, such as like a um, a blank design, meaning don't be afraid to leverage what other people have done. Your degree of uniqueness is going to come from your own limbic messaging and your own headlines and everything else. So it's actually not that hard. So originally, that's my game plan.
Good, man. So we'll look to take a look at that site next Mastermind next week.
Excellent. Okay, so any
Now you're under
we'll,
pressure, bro.
yeah, we're under pressure. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. So, Bridgely, let me get the next piece ready. But while I'm doing that, can you just check the chat and see if people had questions or anything like that?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So always great to see what's happening out there. I saw one depthy question. Remember, everybody, if you want everybody to see what you're writing, you must click everyone in the chat, because otherwise it'll go to just host and panelists. Which a couple things came to us that looked like they were intended for everybody, but just went to host a panelist. So a couple of thoughts there. Federico saying the level of thought behind the prompt is huge. it really is a matter of just learning to talk to the tool. So we talk about that a lot, that the most valuable thing this mastermind does is not tell you which are the latest, greatest tools. There's plenty of people that do that. You can look that up on YouTube. It's learning to think like AI. So whatever you need, you start talking to the tool, figuring out how the tool functions and learning that. It is much, much smarter. And Linda says, I noticed you told us to take the top ones. Yes, don't be afraid to remember AI is iterative. It's always iterating from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. So you want to be thinking, what else could it do? How much deeper could it go? What if we tried this other thing over here? What would that look like? In other words, there's lots of directions that you can weave to make the tool do even more work for you, which is really, really cool and important to recognize what's possible when you start thinking like the tool. Hubert, we had that question that came from our brother Jim, which was what was the difference between masterminding and brainstorming? So
Yes.
I love Jim. Jim's awesome, and he writes this big question, this big paragraph, and whatever. So I
And
want to
he
know.
and also he has a huge collection of dad jokes.
Yes, he has a yeah. Hubert and he are kindred spirits, man. So my question then is, what would your response have been if somebody wrote you a nice email, couple paragraphs of what's the difference between brainstorming and masterminding? Because on this particular call, there's only one answer that's valid, and all others are not. Here's the answer. Well, let's ask AI, shall we? Right? I mean, why in the
That's
world
funny.
would I try to figure that out? That is like above my pay grade when I have a tool that is way smarter than me. And that's a tool while you're still playing over there, Hubert, I'll take this too. That's a tool that you can use and you can iterate with this too, right? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to share my screen one more time. And here we go. What can I help with? Please help us understand the difference between masterminding and brainstorming. Now, hold on a second. Before I go any further, I'm going to say, feel free to ask me qualifying questions or any questions before providing your answer so that you are fully, and notice you don't really have to care about spelling, confident in it, right? Doesn't have to give me an answer right away. See, now look at this. The way I wrote that prompt, if you'll notice, before I give you a full confident breakdown, I have a few quick questions to make sure I tailor the explanation to your needs and audience. So we don't have the answers per se. So I'm just going to guess at them a little bit, Jim. Sorry about that, man. But here you go. You got this stuff. It's all good. So number one, what's the context? This is for marketing copy. We're just going to make this up. What's your goal in making the distinction? We want people to get the most out of our weekly mastermind, and clarity is key. Who's your audience? Audience is entrepreneurs, coaches, leaders, and creatives. And tone preference, make the tone fun and irreverent. Boom. Now it's giving the answer. Notice I'm teaching and educating the tool to make the answer suited to what I want the answer to be. And boom, here we see what we got here. So Jim, here you go, brother. It's all you. Here's the first drop. This ain't just a brainstorm. Let's clear something up. A mastermind is not a brainstorm. They may sound similar, but one's a casual drizzle of ideas, the other's a thunderstorm of breakthroughs. Brainstorming is what happens when people throw spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. It's fast, it's messy, it's fun, and half the time it ends up with a whiteboard full of scribbles and no clue what actually to do next. Masterminding is different. It's intentional, it's strategic. It's a room full of sharp minds focused on your challenge with accountability baked in. You don't just leave with ideas, you leave with clarity, direction, and sometimes a gentle kick in the pants. Brainstorming equals ideas, masterminding equals decisions, plans, and next moves. If you're showing up to a mastermind just to toss ideas around, you're playing small. But if you show up ready to be seen, challenged, and supported by smart people who want to see you win, you'll leave changed. That is pretty dope. Okay. Just saying, pretty amazing. And again, you know, of course, that we can have a lot of fun with this and we can just say, like, give me a 30-second rap song mocking brainstorming versus masterminding. That is hilarious, edgy, completely irreverent, and done in the style of Eminem. Right? Look how fast this is, guys. Come on. Yo, you call that a brainstorm? That's a brain drizzle. Circle talking nonsense, playing mental twister with a chisel. Sticky notes flying, ideas all fluff. Like, what if we made a sock that also holds stuff? Nah, that ain't it. This ain't arts and crafts. Masterminds where we surgically split goals in half. No fluff, no puff, just truth and a plan. You come on in, leave feeling like the motherfucking man. So take your brainstorm, fold it nice and neat, then chuck it in the trash. We mastermind to eat. All right. So there you go. There you go, Jim. That's all for you, brother.
That's
All
too
right,
much, too
Hubert.
much. Okay. Bill has had his hand up for a few moments. So, Rich, do you want to bring Bill in?
Yeah, sure.
We haven't
Let's
seen
do
Brother
it.
Bill in a while.
We have not. Good point. That was hilarious. Okay. Awesome. Friday
Okay.
afternoon. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then
So
we and then we'll do the next demo on that question that our dental client asked us.
perfect. Jim says, I was looking for in-depthness. Now I understand better why you want to answer it this way. Wow. Yeah, for sure.
There we go. Hey, Bill, you're muted,
You're
Bill.
muted, bro. You got to unmute, Bill.
Sorry
Bill,
about that.
it's always a pleasure to see you, but I'm always a little scared because when I'm now surrounded by two problem solvers.
No, and this was great timing because I really wanted to redo my website. And
Oh,
this is
great.
perfect. So I'm going to definitely jump into that. So thank you. I just want to
Awesome.
thank you for that.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
you're welcome,
Excellent.
brother. And, feel free to bring your content, bring your ideas, whatever to the next mastermind. We can do it together.
And I
Uh,
will definitely.
like I
But
said, I mean,
you gave me a great start.
good, excellent. Well, bring it to us. We'll tweak it and refine it and do all that stuff. And happy to help, man. And it it really does. AI kind of removes the excuse. Oh man, it's going to take me so long. Whatever. Like I said, for me, it was less than 30 minutes
Yeah.
to do the
Yeah.
entire site. So,
So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, sure.
all
Wait,
right,
so
brother.
Bill, just stay here for a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a plug to your book right here. Bill Straubinger is the author of The Essential Problem Solver, a six-step method for creating solutions that last. So I just wanted to
Thank you,
let
sir.
everybody know
Appreciate
that
that.
yes, we joke about him being a problem solver along with Ridgely, but
Yeah.
Bill actually wrote the book on it.
And I'm finally getting to do some sessions on it, which is really exciting for
Oh,
me.
tell us
Yeah.
about that, please.
Well, I'm going to be doing some sessions through the the New York City agencies that I work with. I'll be doing a session for specific agencies, and then I'll be doing a session for a group of all different agencies. So I'll have both those behind me. So that'll be great.
Fantastic, brother. Congratulations,
Thank
man.
you.
That's exciting stuff. Good for
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
All right.
Yeah, great. Okay, Bill, it's nice to see you. Thanks.
You too. Take care.
Bill, I can't believe you escaped without the
Oh,
bag.
wait. You got to bring him back.
Oh no.
No, you still. Oh, good. You didn't escape. Oh, almost in my rush to move on to the next thing, I almost let him off the hook. Okay. All right. Bill, are you frozen?
Nope.
No,
Oh, no,
I'm
no.
here.
There you go. Okay, good. Cool.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to tell my joke to a zombie.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm bringing one up from the master files for you. Hold on. You caught me unaware. I was so excited to do the other thing that. I
You're
have.
muted. Go.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
sorry.
Go. No, you're
No,
not
no,
muted.
no. Hold on. I went and flipped to my second desktop, so I got to get back to my first desktop. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, Bill.
Yeah.
I think I told you this one before. Actually, it sounds so familiar. But Bill and Ridgely, what what did one wall say to the other wall? Ridgely can be wall number one. Bill could be wall number two. What did one wall say to the other wall? I'll meet you at the corner.
Eh,
Look at those groans. Look at those groans, guys.
That's just terrible. It's just terrible. Sorry, Bill. I apologize for
Maybe because it's Friday.
Yeah, probably. That's it.
Well,
Okay.
maybe it's because it's
All
a
right,
weekend.
brother. We'll see you
Yeah.
soon.
Take
Ciao
care.
for
Okay,
now.
cool. All right.
All right.
Before our next thing, Ridgely, Linda's asking, could you help us understand how to choose tonality? Are there standard options to know, or should I ask AI? So tonality in writing. I know
Yeah,
that's
so
very
let's just
important
talk
to you.
about that from two perspectives. So number one, of course you want to ask AI. And Linda, don't stop at question number one. Hey, what are different types of tonality in writing? Then you want to say which types of tonality would be most suited for this. I am an artist who loves creative thing. What do you think would be go along well with me? Iterate, 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 iterate. Don't stop at the first answer, even though it may be fairly depthy. Continue iterating until you feel fully satisfied. So that would be piece number one. Number two, obviously, think what you want the end game to be, right? A lot of what AI is all about is reverse engineering from what are you looking to get to, and then reverse engineering back. So if you have a piece that you're creating and you want it to be fun and entertaining, well, then that's where the tone should start. But it could be, I'd like to make it fun and entertaining, yet always maintain an air of professionalism. You can mix those things together, and AI will do all that work for you. So think about, where do I want to be? What am I trying to accomplish at the end? If you don't know, you can act and iterate, but then work backwards in terms of tone. And for anybody that doesn't know, the tone means things like professional versus casual, fun versus serious, high level versus sixth grade English, those kinds of things. But again, play with it, man. Have some fun going to AI. All right, Hubert, back to you.
Yes. Okay. Can you please give us some background as to how this question came up and what the thing is? And I'll show you the prompt that I ran, and we'll both analyze it together.
Okay, so despite not having a website for years, we have a very successful program that takes elite dentists to the top of search engines. We really do, and we can pretty much take any elite dentist anywhere to the top of the search engines. We shy away from huge markets like Manhattan or San Francisco or Los Angeles just because it's harder, but we can still do it. And so what happens if you're in a normal market, like let's say you're in a small town, in this particular case, we're talking about a practice in Chickasha, Oklahoma, which is in the middle of Oklahoma, not too far from Norman. We can get you to the top of search engines really pretty fast, and then you dominate that completely. Well, when we take a dentist, obviously in the world of marketing, the biggest question is, what have you done for me lately, right? There's no stopping marketing. It's only improving of marketing. Well, we got our one of our practices, chickashaydentist.com. We got them to the very top of the search engines for a whole bunch of key money-making terms like dental implants, dental bridges, cosmetic dentistry, that kind of thing. So we got them dominating and went to the client and said, "Hey, we got you to the top on this. Where do we go next?" As in, we've got Chickasha, Oklahoma dominated completely, and there are 6 different towns all around Chickasha that would be the next logical target for us to go after and dominate those towns too. Where should we go first? And obviously, this implies where's the money to afford expensive dental cases, because that's what elite dentists want. So they don't really care about teeth whitening. They want somebody who needs a new face, right? That's what they want. And a Hollywood smile, a cosmetic makeover. That's what our dentists want more than anything, because those cases are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $80,000 a case, right? That's obviously worth a lot more to them than simple teeth whitening. So we want to find out not only where do you think you want to go, but where's the money? Where's the money? Where are your best clients? How big is that market versus this market? Obviously, if there's 18,000 people in this town and there's 6,000 in this town, well, there's a lot more in the 18,000. But what if the 6,000 have all the money, right? So there's all kinds of variables that we want to go into figuring out where do we go next. So Ridgely, in his infinite genius, asks the client, "Hey, where do you think we should go next of the neighboring towns?" And of course, the response that we get back, which is very frequent, is, "I don't know. Maybe these markets." Like, no level of intel from the client as to where they should go next to dominate. To which Ridgely's answer was, "Don't even worry about it. It's all good. We'll use AI to figure that out." Hubert, that's the background.
Yes, excellent background. So let me share with you all the prompt that I did just while, the session was going. Okay, now a couple of teaching points here. When you don't know exactly what you're looking for, your searching paradigm should be a little different than when you know exactly what you're looking for. Okay. And so in this case, I'm actually using 2 different tools. I'm using Perplexity and I'm using Chat GPT, and I'll show you how I seed one to the other. Okay. So I go into Perplexity and I say, I want to start expanding the marketing of my dental practice to nearby towns. How do I decide which towns and cities to target? Right. So I'm telling them what I need to do and asking the question of how to do it. So it goes and says choosing nearby dental practice expansion, blah, blah, blah. And so it gives you a formula, right? Analyze the local demographics, look at the age, look at the income levels, look at the population growth, then look at the competition, okay? And also look at if it's urban or rural, local directories, and then it goes on, right? Accessibility, visibility, how close it is to your current practice. And then it gives you, some tips about using Google Ads and social media and direct mail campaigns and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, I got that as a start. And typically, if I was going to stay in Perplexity, I would just then dive in and continue querying it. Okay. But I wanted more than this approach. So I go and I jump. Well, let me show you my interim thing. So that information actually, you know what? I'm going to go right into what I pasted into ChatGPT. Okay, so here's ChatGPT. Okay, so in ChatGPT, I said, act as a management consultant and marketing expert for dental offices. Okay, then I said, the same start. I want to start expanding the marketing of my dental practice to nearby towns. How do I decide which towns and cities to target? Okay, then check this out, guys. I was given this advice, but I need you to help me do the research for it. And then I tell them specifics. My dental office is called, and I had this point, I had it up to this point, and I was chatting with Ridgely on a private chat while you guys were talking about something, and I said, hey, I've forgotten which practice it was. So he reminded me it was called 29th Street Dental Care, and it's located in Chickasha, Oklahoma. Okay, so I pasted that in. Then I said, here's the advice I was given. Okay, so now I chose from perplexity, I chose points number 1, number 2, and number 3, and I pasted that into this section here. Here's the advice I was given, and I literally pasted this in from over on perplexity. Okay, so then I submit, and it says expanding the marketing reach of your dental practice to nearby towns requires a strategic approach. Here's how you can determine which towns to target. Analyze the local demographics, and it's looking at this. And so basically, it's elaborating and giving me a second opinion as to the approach. Okay, so I'm like, okay, good. So now I say, please go ahead and do the demographic and other analysis for me. Okay, so keep in mind here that it will give you a strategy or it will do the work. If it doesn't do the work, tell it to go ahead and do the work. Okay, so now it goes, involves a comprehensive analysis of demographics, competition, accessibility, and here's a detailed evaluation. So now it starts giving you the information along with the citations for it, so you can actually just hover over and see, where this information is from. But here's Chickasha, and it's, the population, the median age, the income level, Grady population. I'm sorry, Grady County, Blanchard, Oklahoma, Tuttle, and so on and so forth. Okay, so then now assessing it. Now it's looking at other dentists in the area. Okay, so now it's telling me Cottonwood Creek, Lifetime Dentistry, and of course now I'm gonna go and look on Google Maps and see where they are and so forth. Okay, so it gives me all of that, and then I come back and I say, can you please overlay into your analysis the income and wealth? I just want to make sure it tightened that up, and then it goes ahead and looks up information about the average household income. Okay, then I say to it, because now it's getting complicated,
And by
right?
the way,
Now I'm
let's take a look at that.
yes.
The difference here. Look at this. If you look at these, you got Pocaset 46,000, Verdon 38,000. Then go up a little further, scroll back up again. And up above, you've got 89,000 and 102,000. Where do you think there might be better people that have more money to buy the services of our client? But if we didn't
Exactly.
do the work to figure this out, you'd never know.
Yes. So then it's overlaying the accessibility, right? How far away is it from my current location? Okay. And then it's giving, a specific how-to instruction. Okay. So now it's getting kind of complicated, right? So then I ask it this. I say, give me a summary of your recommendation for expansion, especially for higher priced dental treatments such as dental implants and cosmetic dentistry. Okay. So now it goes, and then it says, here's a clear summary of recommendation. Okay. Now, don't be afraid to ask for summaries. Okay. Yes, the information was above, but if you need to digest it, tell it, give me a summary recommendation. So now it says here, now it's becoming easier. Top towns to target. Number 1 is this, number 2 is that. And look, why? Because they have the highest income, strong family demographics, close enough, blah, 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 whatever. And then these are ideal markets for dental implants, veneers, whitening, Invisalign, and other cosmetic treatments. Right? Here's the second
Now watch
opportunity.
this. Now, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the secondary opportunity. And then now, look, towns to avoid for high-end marketing. High poverty rates here. Okay, these two, right? You can still afford general dentistry, but don't prioritize them for premium campaigns. How to market. Now, I had asked it specifically to give me SEO keywords. Dental implants in Blanchard, cosmetic dentist near Tuttle. So this is doing all the work here. And look, it even summarized it in one line. Focus your high-end marketing expansion on Blanchard and Tuttle, maintaining a lighter presence in Ninica, and deprioritize the premium. Now, would you like me to help out specific? And then I said this, yes, action plan, please, complete with SEO keyword suggestions. So it gives me a detailed action plan, look at that, with keywords, and it tells me originally the keywords for each of the expansion towns. And look,
Yeah.
it even gives you a tip. On each page, mention nearby landmarks, highways, neighborhoods, like this, serving families off of US 62 in Blanchard to boost hyper-local relevance. So folks, this is some of like the magic sauce that we use to make our local businesses rank in the top of the search engines. So prior to this, it was all like knowledge in your head. Just to share with you guys, just a couple of hours ago, and Richly, I think our audience will appreciate that. So we have a monthly meeting where we review our portfolio and how all of our clients are doing. There's typically 4 of us. There's originally myself, and then there's a gentleman named Patrick and a gentleman named Andrew. Now, Andrew and I have both done 20 years of SEO, so we know this stuff on the top of our heads, right? And the subtleties that we're trying to like bring out in these meetings to educate Ridgely and Patrick are like super detailed. It took us 20 years to get to that level of knowledge. That analysis that I just showed you with some of those SEO tips, those are legit SEO tips, Ridgely, that anybody can get without spending 20 years trying to learn that stuff. So you're way ahead of the game when you know how to use AI properly.
And let's just highlight the difference between what we do because we use the tool all the time versus what somebody else does. So here's the thread of what happened. I sent a thread saying, hey, we just hit a crazy milestone that I want to share with you. We hit sedation dentistry #1 in every single spot on the map. There's not a 2 anywhere in there, which is insane. That means that they dominate so completely that I said, hey, we need to expand the geography. Please share this with Dr. John. True market domination. Have a great week. Right? Get a message back. Excellent. Do you know how we were able to do that? I go, sure. Everything plays a role. Optimizing the GVP, content marketing, etc. All we done. Dr. Phillips and I discussed your finding. He is pumped. Some of the towns he hopes we can dominate quickly are Fletcher, Sterling, Tuttle, Blanchard, Fort Cobb, for example. So I said, give him my best. Can you prioritize? The answer I get is Blanchard and Tuttle most likely, but I'm unsure, honestly. Sorry, I could not help more. Well, it turns out that Blanchard and Tuttle were correct. But what a different way of getting to Blanchard and Tuttle to say, well, I think Blanchard and Tuttle, or let me use a tool that proves to me immediately these are the markets. And I would even take it one step further than what Hubert just did in the demo. And I would say, okay, great. Which of the two should we go after first, Blanchard or Tuttle? Because going after keywords like cosmetic dentistry in Blanchard is a bear. It's not easy. So we want to be very hyper focused in what we do and make it data driven. If you've been in this mastermind for a while, you've heard me say this many, many times. In God we trust, all others bring data, right? We want to know the data. Give us the data, because if we got the data, we can make decisions that are informed, that are clear, and that are way more powerful. So I hope that was helpful for everybody. Again, think, what can I use this tool for? It can do so much to accelerate everything that you are doing in your business.
Yeah, so thank you for the kind words in the chat, folks. Linda's saying the best clients love the data-driven decision-making you provide, and Federico says that was invaluable. Thank you. Everybody else is jumping in too, so thank you for that.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, Hubert. So next week, guess what it is next week? The second Thursday of the month. Oh, yeah. Mind Types After Dark. So we love Mind Types After Dark. We invite everybody to bring your favorite libation, whether that is a spirit, a fine wine, or simply a lovely herbal tea, whatever you like. It is a little bit more fun. We get a little bit more goofy, and it will be, as always, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific, next Thursday, which happens to be April 10th. So April 10th, Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Mind Types After Dark, and I'll let you close this out, Hubert.
Yes, actually, Bruce volunteered to give the closing one, so I'm going to read his AI dad joke. This is from Bruce. Bruce asks, originally, why did the neural network get promoted? It really knew how to connect the dots. Tim is saying, lol, for me, it will be Mind Types Breaking the Dawn.
Yeah. Timothy, great to see you always. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate the commitment all the way from Singapore. Good. Love that.
Now, originally, it's perilously close to 5 o'clock originally. So here's one for you. That's a clue. Originally, what did the grape do when it got stepped on? What did the
I don't
grape
know
do?
what.
What did the grape do when it got stepped on? Nothing.
What?
It just let out a little whine.
Oh my God. That is terrible. I actually like that one.
Dr. Art
Okay.
got it. Dr. Art got it. Wine. Actually, it's 5 o'clock where I am. It's still only 4 o'clock for you, so you got to hold out for 59 more minutes.
Okay. All right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. We appreciate you. See you next week. Mind Types After Dark. Rock and roll. Have a great one. All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Ciao from now, everybody. Fede, I'll see you on my channel. Thanks, guys. Ciao.